Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. More importantly, kiss your arm. Pinch punch, first of the month, White Rabbit. Happy 1st of May. It's lovely to be with you today. My name is Rebecca Redican. You can call me Becky. And if you are ready to add a little bit of zen, a whole heap of creativity, and a, quite frankly, truckload of inspiration to your weekend, you are completely and absolutely in the right place. It is today all about a mega chock full 2 hours worth of Colour Me Happy. We have got some serious goodies for you. I have to say, you are going to be smiling from ear to ear. You will know that we have got some stellar treats coming up for you. And of course, we have got with us a wonderful craft expert today. It's the lovely Lily. Morning, Lily.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Fabulous.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about what's in front of you?
Can I say 11?
Yes, you can.
Honestly, so excited to be doing this show. This is one of the most fantastic products I think we've ever brought to you. If you want to start your colouring journey, this is exactly where it's going to start. So sit back, make sure you pick up yours and just get ready to get started with your colouring, because honestly, this box is absolutely amazing.
It is extra special, and it will start your journey and develop your journey until by the end, and when you filled all of this in, you are going to be confident, comfortable, and a bit of an expert, to be honest. We have got that coming up for you. But let me give you all the exciting extras that we've got today. Do you love a bargain?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. If you are part of Club Inspire and you're a bronze member, you may well be very excited to know the 5% you usually get today, actually it's 10% discount. Also, we have given you the opportunity to step up a rung in our Club Inspire ladder. So if you are normally, for example, a gold member, today you're getting a platinum prize. Platinum, you think, 20%, I'm gonna have to stop there. Today, you're gonna get 25% off. Now, this is not only just on stuff that we're going to focus on today, it's on all of your orders today, and also I will let you know it does include things that are already discounted. So you know, sometimes when you go into a shop and it's like sale and you can get maybe a 10% off voucher, but actually you can only use it on things that are full price. Not here. So for example, we are giving you discounts on a super special weekend bag. This has got one of the biggest discounts ever, at like so massive, but you can still make the most of that extra step up discount. Now, this is today's super duper secret super saver bag. And what we have got in here for you is an extra special collection of dies. Now, I'm gonna do what I did yesterday and be a little bit of a cheeky pickle. Cheeky pickle, it's not my nickname, but it could be. What we're going to do is I'm just going to show you 2 items from this bag for now. Don't worry, we'll have a little few looks through, so by the end of it you'll know exactly what's in. But for now, I just want to give you an idea, because you're getting 7 products in here. Pick them at random, Bex. There we go. So we've got in here, guaranteed you're getting the entwined rose, and guaranteed you're getting the decadent heart. So bearing this in mind, these are just 2 of the 7 creator cards you're getting in here. We are looking at these combined £25. However, you are getting for free another 5 elements in here, and some of them, quick flash, whoa, are massive dies. You are getting super mega secret savings on this one today. And I will just point out to you as well, let me get my notes, because if you were watching yesterday, you will know that I struggled to add up 20 and 15. I was like, oh yeah, 37. So I've written them down today. But just to let you know, with this fantabulous extra special bag, if you are a gold member, just to really clarify this now, it's actually only £24 today, or $32. But with this, if you're a platinum member in the UK, it is only £22.50, or in the US, you are looking at $30 only. So to just put that into your head, in America, if you're platinum, you're saving nearly $96. saving. If you're in the UK, you're saving over £82. I'm happy if I find 82p, let alone £82. So you have got a real special opportunity. I'll give you more sneak peeks on that as we go on. Can I just give you a little bit of an update on this though? 80%'s gone because we had it on yesterday, so 80% of it has already gone. We have got like a couple of handfuls left, so now is your time to absolutely make the most of it, squirrel it away, and do just remember that I'm guaranteeing those elements within there. So if you do buy say 2, you will get duplicates. Now we are all here for our fabulous 2-hour Colour Me Happy, and I just want to remind you, whether you are on day 1 of your colouring journey and maybe you've stumbled upon us, or you're on day 1001, you may well have questions, not just about techniques, but also about the treats we've got for you. Get them into us. If you've tried something out, it didn't go wrong, get them into us. If you tried something out and you think, actually, this could be something cool, let us know. Get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us on our socials, and our superstar today is Rachel. She'll be looking after you. So get those questions in for Lily, for the team, etc. And don't worry, as of yesterday, we will be finding out about celebrity birthdays. So that's something to look forward to. We have got for you today the Spectrum Noir Academy of Colour, and this is a box that is absolutely jam-packed with goodies. Lily, can we have a nosy at some of the goodies, please?
Oh my gosh, shall I take you through this absolutely incredible box?
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness, this is one of the most incredible products we have, I'm going to say it, we've ever bought you, honestly. If you watched when Leanne launched this, it was, I think it was about March time on Crafters TV, she brought you the launch of this amazing box, and she actually went as far as saying it's one of the products she's actually most proud of developing. So you know how many amazing products Leanne develops. For her to say something like this, you know this is absolutely incredibly special, and seriously, it's so exciting. So without further ado, let's actually see what you're getting. So first of all, we're going to look at the actual box itself. So if we see the actual box, it's absolutely gorgeous quality, it's beautifully presented, so if you are thinking about gifts, this is going to be absolutely perfect. It has got a magnetic clasp, so it's just wonderful quality. You know that everything's going to be held in the box really nice and securely, so you can store everything within the box. Not just everything in the box is important, but it's the storage too that we're also bringing you. I have to say, I absolutely love what we've got written on here. Your colouring journey starts here, and absolutely it does. Like Becky said, if it's day 1 of your colouring journey, or perhaps it's day 1001, perhaps you've been colouring for years and your colouring journey sort of, you want to progress a little bit and learn more and understand more about the theory and the reasoning behind why certain techniques work and how you do certain different, perhaps more advanced techniques, then this is still going to be absolutely perfect. But if you are a beginner, perhaps you've never even picked up an alcohol marker or an aqua marker before, and you just want to give it a go, you see all these amazing results that all the team get, perhaps you see on social media all the amazing creations that our different Spectrum Noir artists create, then this is honestly, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best place to start. So if we open up our box, and I have to say when I got mine home, I just sat down with a cup of tea and I just opened it and went through it, and oh my goodness, there's a few squeals of excitement, shall we say. I was so excited by everything that's in here. It's like the best, most expensive, most luxurious box of chocolates you could ever wish for in sort of the way that it's presented. So on the first layer, we've got all of our duo colour alcohol markers. Now you're getting a whopping 16 of these. When we say 16, we're actually talking 16 pens, but as we can see, they are what we call our duo colours. So we're saying 16 pens, we're actually talking 32 different colours, and I'm hoping my maths is right there, Becky.
Oh, don't go asking me,
16
Lily.
times 2, I believe it is 32, but you know.
It is, I believe you.
Thank goodness for that. So we're talking 32 different colours, so really, we are talking 32 of these duo colour pens. Now these are dual-ended, they are both brush nibs on both ends, and the quality of these brush nibs are absolutely wonderful. They make colouring so easy. As we'll see when we come on to actually doing a little bit of colouring later, they make colouring an absolute breeze and a joy to do. They are just fabulous. They allow you to lay down colour really, really easily and smoothly. They allow you to get all those lovely flicking techniques, all your amazing blending. They are just fabulous. So you can see we've got a beautiful range of different colour tones in there. On each pen we've got 2 different shades which are going to blend together beautifully. So very much like we've got with our tri-blend range where we've got 3 different tones in one pen. Very similar sort of system here with the 2 different tones in the one pen. You can see this one that I've picked up here, we've got CR6 and CR8. CR8 with a higher number being our darker shade, and CR6, the lower number in that same CR colour family, is slightly lighter, and we know that those 2 are going to blend together perfectly. So Leanne and the team have very, very carefully curated all of the different pens, all of the different colours within this box to work together absolutely beautifully. So you don't need to sort of be looking around and searching around as to what's going to work together when we are doing our blending. We know that everything's going to work perfectly. So that in itself would be absolutely fabulous. You're going to think, right, okay, we can learn all about our alcohol pen colouring, but of course there is so much more. That is literally only layer 1. So those 32 colours of premium brush nibbed dual-ended alcohol markers is just the first layer. Good grief, it gets even more exciting. We go on to layer 2, and now we're talking about our duo colour aqua. So perhaps you're familiar with our aqua pen range here at Crafters Companion. Similar sort of idea. This is for all your water-based techniques. Now we've got 8 of these. Again, they are dual-ended pens, and we can see they've got the blue barrel, so that sort of stands for the fact that they're aqua, they are water based, whereas our first layer was our alcohol pens. Those were alcohol based pens. These are water based, and again we've got that very similar sort of brush nib on there. Beautiful quality once again with these, the only difference being that they are water based, so there's lots of different other techniques we can be doing with those. They are absolutely wonderful, and again we've got a lovely range of colours that are all going to work together perfectly, but we've got something for lots of different genres. Perhaps you like doing your landscapes, perhaps you prefer more your portraits, your floral designs, perhaps seascapes are more your thing. You've got something for absolutely every sort of colouring genre that you're going to be dipping your toes in, and that Leanne's actually going to be teaching you, as we'll come on to a little bit later. Then we've got our white opaque pen, so that is in this particular layer, but it will work with both your alcohol pens and your water-based mediums as well. Perfect for adding all your highlights, or even for correcting your mistakes. It's a nice little cheat that you can use that to colour over if you need to, but shh, I didn't tell you that. No one will ever know, because we never go outside the lines. But as we'll come to see later, that's not a problem at all. We also have our fine spritzer bottles, so that's perfect when we're doing all our backgrounds and all our different techniques. That's fabulous to have that included. And then we've included not just 1, but actually 2 different paint brushes, because when we come to use our water-based mediums, it's really important to have a range of different brush sizes depending on the sort of detail that we're working with. So we've got our large flat brush, which is going to be perfect for all your backgrounds when you're doing your colour washes. That's going to work brilliantly. Then we've got our really nice fine detail brush, which is going to be great when we're coming in to do more intricate detailing, perhaps when we're doing our shading on our stamped images. That's going to be our brush that we go for. They're really beautiful quality. We can see we've got this soft grip here on the barrel. That gives you a good indication of where's actually best to hold your brush, but that's something that Leanne will be teaching you in the education. But you do get both of those brushes, and everything within the box has a place. Everything is stored so beautifully. You don't need to worry about buying additional storage if you don't want to. Keep everything in this box. Not only is it stored correctly and it's going to be stored in the right way, it's also so beautifully presented. It's one of those when you get it home, you're just going to want to look at it for a little while and just go through it and just sort of drink in how beautifully everything is presented. Honestly, oh, it just makes me so happy just to look at this, and that's before we've even got them out and started colouring. But we don't even stop there. As if it wasn't enough to get all our alcohol pens and all our aqua markers, we come into our next layer. Now this is actually a really important layer, and I will say there's something missing from mine, but I will say why in just a moment. But we are bringing you the correct type of card to colour onto. Now this is really important when we come onto our colouring. choice of medium that you're colouring onto is really important, and it's different depending on whether you're working with your water-based medium. So it included some watercolour card. You get a nice good wodge of that, but if you are wanting to stock up and get extras, we do have our packs of Crafter's Companion watercolour card on today's show, so make sure you do add that into your basket if you're getting your box, just so that you're going to make sure you've got plenty of that in your stash. We also have our alcohol marker card. This is very similar to our Nina card, also on today's show. So if you want to bolster your stash of your alcohol marker card, grab another pack of those and you'll get plenty to keep you going and get colouring for a little while, because that's something you don't want to run out of, because you're going to want to be doing lots of practicing with these fabulous pens. So this is a really nice smooth cardstock. It's been specifically designed for use with your alcohol pens. It's going to give you the easiest sort of surface to blend onto. And it's really, really important. That's something that Leanne actually shows you. She shows the difference between colouring onto different cards and why it's so important to have this card. And to have that included in the box is just absolutely fabulous. Now, something that you might not even notice to start with, but it's actually really, really important, is this palette that we've included. Now, some of you, I know we did have a few questions from people who have got their boxes already. Some people think that they've not actually got this included. Have a little look at your stamp set, because sometimes it can sort of stick to your stamp sets. But it will be included on there, your palette. You can use this for both your aqua pens and you can use it with your alcohol pens as well. And we'll be looking at why this is such a vital piece of the box when we come to demo a little bit later. But lovely quality plastic, much better than using just an old scrap of acetate. You've got that lovely Spectrum Noir branding onto there. So that is almost everything that's in our box, but I did say there was something missing from my box, from that final layer, and this is something that is actually so important. When you come to actually learn with Leanne, this is something that's mega important when you go into practice all your techniques. As if that beautiful box wasn't enough, we've actually got this binder, and this is not something that we're saying, oh, perhaps pop this into your basket as an extra little thing. This is actually included. How incredible is that? Not only a box, but your fabulous quality binder as well. You can see you've got that fabulous branding on the front, Spectrum Noir Academy of Colour. And this is where you're going to store all of your stamps. So as we open it up, we've actually got our table of contents. So we've got our duo colour introduction, which is what you get included in your main box. And then you'll see there's several other different sort of topics. Now in the future, over the coming months and years, over about the next roughly 18 months, we're going to be bringing you supplementary boxes so you can actually refine your skills on specific techniques. So the next one we'll be bringing you over the next couple of months will be portraits, and we'll be bringing you extra pens and extra stamps. But we have sort of future-proof this binder, so we've already got the spaces for you to fill those with those stamps when you do get them home. Because let's be honest, once you get started with this, we all know that you're going to want the next box and the next box and the next box, because honestly, you'll see how fabulous this is. You really won't want to miss out. But what we've done is I've taken my stamps that come in our first box, so you are getting these 3 sets of stamps included. And I've popped these stamps into our binder. It just makes sure that they're stored really nicely, easy to access, and as well, let's be honest, they look absolutely fabulous stored in here as well. So we've got a range of different images. You've got your basic shapes as well, which are what we use when Leanne teaches you sort of basic blending techniques, basic adding shade into basic shapes that we build up our skills when we come to colouring lovely images like we've got in here. So that's our first sheet of stamps. Not easy to get your teeth around that one. And then we come to our second one. Absolutely gorgeous images here, and such a range of different sorts of images. We've even included your sentiments as well, so if you're thinking about putting these coloured images onto your cards, you've got the sentiments to finish off your projects too, and such a beautiful range of images as well. I have to say, I absolutely love those flowers. I think those are absolutely beautiful. You can see we've got some real fine detail in there, but because we've got the beautiful quality brush nibs on our pens, we know that we're going to be able to get into that fine detail really easily. And then finally, our third set of stamps. These have been designed perhaps more with the aqua markers in mind, but of course you can be using them with either of your mediums within the box. got another lovely range of designs, including some of our sentiments, smaller designs, larger designs, lots of different variety in there. But to have the 3 stamp sets even included in here is so important, because when you actually come to watch the lessons that Leanne provides, these are the stamps that she uses. Now, they've been specifically designed to teach you specific techniques, which is absolutely fabulous. So we have sort of touched on the education element. So as if getting that whole box and the whole binder wasn't quite enough in itself, we're actually bringing you alongside this the education. So when you get your box home, you'll have a little card in there, and there's a little QR code thing. I don't use them. There's also a link that you can literally just type into your browser, which for me is much easier if you're not really tech savvy. It's really easy to do. Literally just follow that link, and that will take you to a page online, and there'll be links to the videos. So we've got our first video, which is focusing on our alcohol-based pens, and then our second video is focusing on our water-based mediums, our aqua pens. And what Leanne does is each of the lessons are 3 hours in length, so plenty of time to be able to learn all the amazing techniques that she is showing you. So she spends those 3 hours going through from the very beginning, from the very basics of using that particular medium, teaching you all the techniques, teaching you all the hints and tips, how we colour in specific images, answering all your questions that you might have, and you can watch those back again and again and again. Those videos are there for life, and they are absolutely amazing. The level of tuition, the level of detail that Leanne goes into is absolutely amazing. So as if it wasn't enough to get all the resources, you get in the education, and honestly for me, I think it's absolutely invaluable. I love my colouring. A lot of you will know that that's perhaps one of my favourite things to do when it comes to crafting. I love my colouring, love the whole spectrum of our range. But for me, I've learned so much from watching those videos. Honestly, Leanne is the most amazing teacher. You can just sit back and watch those videos at your own leisure. You don't have to watch all of the 3 hours at once. You can pause, you can rewind, you can go back and revisit different areas. But honestly, it's absolutely incredible to get that education included. Honestly, for those 6 hours worth of videos, I would quite happily pay the £99 just for that. Honestly, if you think how much you would spend on a craft class, on a craft workshop, but then to have all the resources at your fingertips. So everything that Leanne uses, all the stamps, all the pens, all your little extras like your palette, like your opaque white gel pen, like your paintbrushes, you've got it all included. It's absolutely incredible. It's kind of like you can't quite believe that you're getting absolutely everything. But if you're wanting to start your colouring journey, or perhaps you are a seasoned colourist and you just want to improve your skills, then this is the most fabulous thing you can treat yourself to. Great for gifts, great as a little treat, but honestly, it is amazing.
I think the fact you're getting that much in it, and the fact that you're getting all of that tuition. In fact, before we came on air, I had a little look online for a well-known online place where you can kind of book on to different online tuition hubs. And one that I found that was to do with colouring, and it's that website that gives them all like 5-star reviews, people vote on them. There was one that had a 4-star review, and it was a 6-hour class, and it was £10 per hour, it was 60 quid, which made me think, if we charged even just £10 worth for each of those hours, in the UK, if you're platinum, you are paying about £15 for this. Isn't that incredible? Because just as a reminder, again, if you are gold member standard of our Club Inspire, you're actually paying platinum price today. If you've just tuned in, we've got this like step up the totem pole treat for you to ease your way into May. So these are all the prices that you're going to be paying. So again, if you are gold, you're actually paying the platinum price. If you are platinum today, it's just £74.25 or $89.25. Which is incredible. So again, if you were prepared to pay £10 per hour for 6-hour tuition, it's about 15 quid in the UK. This is your chance to treat yourself to this incredible deal. And the fact of the matter is, for me, if you are someone who's maybe new, the fact that you're getting that kind of hand-holding element can really give you that empowerment so that you don't feel left behind. You know you've got everything, and you also know that we're here live every single day. So if you do ever come up with a question, we are here to react, as well as the fabulous people who run our socials and our wonderful community out there. But also I think it's really cool if you're maybe the type of person who maybe you feel more skilled in, say, aqua, or you feel more skilled in alcohol inks. How perfect is it that you've got something you feel safe in, but also you've got the tuition to help you develop your other area so that you're kind of on an even keel. You've got a lot of fun to be had in here, but as I always say, you can't have fun with it if you don't get it. And today, with that kind of deal, and I will just let you know this, even though it's pretty new, and even though this is the start of a journey that you are going to enjoy and cherish, this is lowest ever price today because you've got that extra step up on the rung. And just as a reminder too, if you are bronze level, normally you get 5% off. Actually, if you're bronze, kind of ignore the £99 because today it's £89.10 or $107.10. So you are getting a special treat, you really are. Seize the moment on this one whilst you can, because we are going to be doing some demos with this. And just to let you know, throughout the show, we'll be giving some sneak peeks of like little bits and bobs and extras and videos that you get as well. Just whilst we're here, actually, before I forget, Lynn's messaged in with a question. Hiya, Lynn. In fact, there's loads of you joining us today. Hey up, Christine. How are you? Hello to Carla. Hello, Gianna. You were in with us yesterday. I hope you're having a lovely one. Thea's back in with us saying, hoi, hoi. Wishing you a beautiful day. Lynn has got a question. How many of the Academy of Colour boxes are there going to be? Oh, you're such a little sneak, aren't you, Lynn? I love it. Ask away. I know the answer. Lily knows the answer. It's a lot.
6 more. Yeah.
7 in total.
Yeah,
Lily,
6 more.
Lily, I'm not the type to sort of keep a secret.
Yeah.
Give us an idea for anyone at home who's like, well, if I start this, am I going to have to wait another 6 months for the next box?
No.
When-ish, Lily?
The next one we're talking the next month or so. And I have seen it, and I am ridiculously excited.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We have got the opportunity for you to get involved right here, right now. If you do have any questions, like the lovely Lynn did, get in touch with us on our socials. And it can be a question about this, or it could be a question about things that you've struggled with in the past and you need a bit of help on. Or it could just be, you know, maybe you're thinking of getting it someone as a gift. You don't know if it will suit them. Get in touch with us. We're here, we're live. Well, we're live if you're watching us live, which is in the UK, 11:27 and 6 seconds. Then we are absolutely live, so do get in touch with us on socials. Do you fancy a demo? Lily, can we have a demo? What are we looking at?
Shall we? Yeah. Well, obviously we're looking at the amazing box, but honestly, it's so exciting to get all this home. Is absolutely fantastic. Right, so we're going to start off with our top tier, our first layer. We're going to start off with our alcohol-based pens. And just before I forget, Becky was obviously saying about getting your questions in, and we would love to have all your questions today. But when you get this home, and perhaps when you start colouring, you start watching all the videos, and perhaps you're coming up with questions, we have an amazing community. We have an amazing Facebook group that you can join on Facebook, our Spectrum Noir Academy of Colour group, and it's such a supportive community. I mean, Leanne's in there, Sarah pops along and has a little look at your questions and answers them as well. We've got our whole social media team here at Crafters Companion. It's such a supportive even community, so get your questions on there if you ever have any, so you're absolutely never going to be alone with this. It's so supportive, which is amazing. But let's start off with a little bit of colouring. So our alcohol-based markers, I'm taking this one, which is BT6 and BT8. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to show you everything that Leanne is going to show you within the lessons, because we want to sort of keep that for when you get your box home and you're going to colour along with Leanne. But I'm going to sort of share with you a little bit of my take on some of the sort of techniques that Leanne will be showing you, my sort of take on the sort of things you can be doing with your alcohol-based pens and the stamps when you get them home. because honestly I have personally learnt so much myself just from watching the videos. It's absolutely amazing. So I've taken a piece, and this is some of the alcohol marker card that you are of course getting within your box, and I've stamped out one of the butterflies from the stamp sets that is also included in the box, which is amazing to get all those stamps as well. Something that's really important for me to cover, I know Leanne will cover this in the lessons as well, but this is the sort of ink pads we need to use to stamp with for the different mediums. So when we're working with an alcohol-based medium, you will need an alcohol-proof ink pad. So something like our Spectrum or our Finesse alcohol-proof ink pads are absolutely what you need, because basically when we apply these alcohol markers over the top, that line work isn't going to bleed and merge. So just have a little look on our website. We do have them on today's show, our alcohol-proof ink pads, and we've got a range of different colours. I've used the black one to stamp this butterfly out. Similarly, when you come to use your aqua markers, you'll need another different type of ink pad, and that's our Finesse waterproof. Because they are water-based medium, you'll need a waterproof ink pad. But you'll also find those on today's show. So for our alcohol pens, we need our alcohol-proof ink pad. Now, I'm working onto my rotating design board. This is absolutely incredible. When you are doing your colouring, honestly, it makes your life so much easier. I've got the slightly larger one. The one that we've got on today's show is a little bit smaller. And I have to say, the one that we've got on the show today, with it being a little bit smaller, is a little bit more manageable, actually, for this size of artwork. It's just that we didn't have one of those for me to use. But Becky's just going to show you how fabulous that rotating design board is.
It's already busy on this one. The rotating board itself, you're going to see just how much easier this makes colouring for you, and also it's really good because actually it makes it kind of a nice contained space. I will let you know that with the smaller one, the 18 sets of the watercolour card and the alcohol marker card that you get in here fit on here perfectly and still give you a nice little bit of space. We have got the rotating board here. It comes with everything you need, including the magnetic ruler, so it can help you line things up nicely. Comes with your bulldog clip to keep whatever you need in place. You can remove the grid board as well if you're not going to need it, and it just means that your colouring is all nicely in one place. And if you're like me, if you're left-handed, in particular, because when you're left-handed, your hand follows you, this is not just for colouring. I genuinely have used this for like signing things and stuff like that, because it actually means that so you're not following and smudging, you turn it to the side and your hand's completely out of the way, but you can still sit at a table comfortably. I have got for you the Totally Tiffany bag as well that comes with this. So you're getting the rotating board, the actual set, you're getting the magnetic tool set in there as well, all nicely to be stored in your bag, making it very neat and tidy. Today, if you're a gold member, it is just $16.22. Is it with the bag? You don't get the bag? Why is it in the bag?
The bag, but I believe this one is without the bundle.
No bag today.
No bag.
But yeah, do you know what? I was just going then. If you're a gold member, then Bob around, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, ignore the bag. But actually, if you do want it, you can get the bag online. And even though it's, you know, got the Totally Tiffany name, you're still getting that Club Inspire pointage. Pointage, new. If you do want to get it, if you're platinum, it's just $15.21 here in the UK. And don't forget, if you're gold, it's $16.22 today, because we've got that step up. We're going to see this and much more in action now with Lily.
We certainly are. So, when you're colouring with your alcohol-based pens, you always want a piece of card underneath what you're actually working on too. Now, that doesn't have to be a specialist alcohol marker card at all. It can just be any old random scrap of paper will work perfectly. Reason being is, when you colour with alcohol pens, as we'll see as we come to colour this image, that ink will come through to the other side. If you're working onto something like a glass mat, then that ink will pool underneath, and some of that will actually be sucked back up into the fibres of your card, and it can cause this sort of bleeding outside the edges of the stamp line, and you sort of think, oh, I'm sure I used the right sort of ink pad, why am I getting this bleeding? What you need is something porous underneath, like another sheet of your scrap paper, so that ink can be sucked through the other side of your colouring and then can be sucked into this piece of card underneath. And that's something that Leanne will talk you through in the workshops as well. I think it's fabulous that she actually explains why we do everything. It's not just a case of you do this just because. She'll tell you exactly why you're doing everything that you need to do with these certain techniques, and it just means that it makes more sense. When you understand why you're doing something, it makes sense in your mind, and it means you can apply that technique to other areas because you know exactly why you're doing it, which is just fabulous. So onto the colouring. I've taken this pen. I'm going to go in with BT6, which is slightly lighter. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to colour over all over this image. Now, one thing I have to say, I actually learned this. I didn't know this before I actually watched the first video. We talk a lot about a smooth blend, and we tend to think of a smooth blend including several different colours onto an image and getting them that sort of blend between the different tones. And that's not actually what a smooth blend is. A smooth blend is just the one colour that we lay down without any sort of lines, without any sort of streaks on there. That is a smooth blend. When we're talking about blending different colours into each other, that's what we call a blend transition. So when we get that ombre between light and dark, that is a blend transition. Whereas what we're doing now is just a smooth blend. So we're laying down that colour. You can see how easy it is to work with these pens because we've got that lovely soft brush nib. It's soft enough that it allows us to lay down that colour really, really easily and smoothly, but it's not so smooth and soft that it's really, really flexible and you're going to find it difficult to stay within the lines. We've got that balance exactly right. So you can get that lay down of colour nice and smooth and easily, but it's not sort of flexing all over the place. So we're laying down that colour onto there. Now, alcohol ink is translucent. So if we actually colour over this again, it will go ever so slightly darker. And in order to get that smooth blend, we do need to add more than the one coat of ink onto there. So we're just going to go over that again, just to really saturate and dye all of the fibres of that card and make sure that we get that smooth blend, that even colour tone all over this stamp image. Now I'm working in sort of smooth little small circular motions. You'll find that this gives you a really sort of even lay down of colour onto there. So just going over, you can see now we've achieved what we call a smooth blend. Now if I actually unclip my artwork and turn it over, can you see that's gone through completely to the other side? And when you first start colouring with alcohol markers, you turn it over and you think, oh my goodness, what have I done wrong? It's gone through to the other side. That is absolutely perfect. That's what you want to see. It means that we've fully dyed the fibres of that card. And that's exactly what we want, and that's why it's so important to have our cardstock underneath. That ink that's going through to the other side is not then going to pool on our glass mat or craft mat or whatever we're working onto underneath. It's going to actually be sucked into the fibres of that extra piece of card. So that's our smooth blend. Let's start thinking now about a blend transition. So exactly the same alcohol marker. I'm now taking the darker one, which is BT8. And what we're going to do, and again, I'm using this rotating design board. Always rotate your artwork rather than your wrist. It's just really unnatural to try and work with your wrist like that. Just rotate your artwork, and by using your rotating design board, it makes it so, so easy. I'm going to start in this sort of centre section near where the body is. And we can see that that's going to be darker. It's more sort of pinched in there. We've got a higher concentration of lines. And all we're going to do is we're literally just going to flick outwards. Now, I find it easier to flick downwards. I find it really, really unnatural to try and flick upwards, which is why it's really important to actually always rotate our artwork, which is why using your rotating design board is so absolutely fabulous. So we're literally just flicking outwards, letting that brush nib do all the work for us. And I'm flicking about to halfway, flicking downwards really, really simply, just to get that blend transition from the dark shade into that slightly lighter shade. We can see up here, we've got the wing behind, and where something's overlapping, the one that's behind is going to have a shadow cast onto it from that wing that's in front, so it's going to be slightly darker. So I'm going to colour that in a little bit more using this darker shade, and I'm literally only using this one single pen with the two different tones. We can see very easily onto there by laying down that first layer of colour, that smooth blend using that first lighter colour and then flicking out from the centre using our darker colour, we can very, very easily build up light and shade onto that, and it just gives us that realistic effect. How fabulous does that look, but so quickly and easily to create.
It looks brilliant, that, doesn't
It's fabulous.
3D.
It looks really, really 3D, and this is what this is all about. It's getting you to colour in a way that makes things look 3D. And what Leanne does at the very, very start of the lessons is she teaches you how to shade different basic shapes. So we saw in the stamps how we had like a circle, a cylinder, a triangle, etc. included. You might sort of think, how am I going to exactly use those on my cards? And those are for practicing colouring. Because what Leanne teaches you is if you can colour the basic shapes, all you do then is you apply that knowledge when you are colouring perhaps like proper images, if you want to sort of think of them in that way. And you start looking at all your stamps as breaking them down into shapes rather than looking at, oh, that's a tree. You look at it and you think, okay, that's a tree that's made up of a cylinder for the base, and then all the leaves perhaps are more like spheres. And you apply that knowledge that you learn from colouring those basic shapes into colouring different images. We've got lots of different stamps on today's show, so you can actually apply the techniques you learn with the stamps inside the box onto all your different stamps. And it's that education, it's that teaching you the basic techniques so that you can apply those to lots and lots of different images, which is absolutely fabulous. It's that learning. That is absolutely what this is all about, and it's just fantastic. Shall we show you something that seems really scary now, though?
Let's do it. Yeah, go on.
Shall we talk about grey pens?
Okay, yeah.
Grey pens. So we can see we get some really nice depth and definition onto there. But perhaps you want to get a little bit more definition onto your coloured images. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking one of our card front colouring pads. We've got these on today's show. These are absolutely fabulous. These have been specifically designed for all your alcohol-based mediums. So for your duo colour alcohol markers, these are going to be absolutely perfect. So if you're looking for more imagery to actually practice your colouring onto with your alcohol-based pens, this is a fabulous bundle to go for. I don't know if Becky, if you want to show some of the fabulous artwork that we've actually got.
Absolutely, because it's so gorgeous.
I love this, and there's such a variety, isn't there?
Definitely.
Just amazing to get colouring with.
If you've not seen these before, they are truly wonderful. These are great for practicing, but also they're great for matte and layering to make your cards. They're lovely as almost little postcards. They're great as like a carry along with you craft. I don't know if you're sort of anything like me, you know, maybe do quite a bit of commuting. These are handheld little books of creativity and beauty and fun. You get multiples of each of them, as you can see, and they are specifically designed for exactly the right kind of mediums that you're going to be using. Just to show you, this is just one of the pads, but you are getting multiples of these, and I'll show you all of the different designs you get now with the boards. So, as you can see, the artistry on this is just sensational. Not only are you going to get the flourish of the different designs, so the different characters almost, if you will. So for example, this one that you're looking at here is your floral flights. You're also going to be getting all of these wonderful elements where you can pop them out as almost like your top of your additions. So this one I've got for you. I have also got for you our florals that also have the wonderful details upon them. This one, I think, when I'm looking at them, not only is it lovely and open for space of colouring, I think that when you do finish this, it's something you're going to be really proud of and be happy to give on. Sentiments in here include things such as with all my love and bloom where you are planted, all beautifully foiled as well. If I just catch that on the light, you can see how wonderfully foiled that is. It just gives it that extra upper echelon of kind of excellence in a way, isn't it, when you think of the metallics. I love this one. It's our mythical one for anyone in your family who loves a unicorn, can't get enough of a fairy. Maybe they're a Pegasus fan, then we have got them here for you too. And then last but by no means least, in your spiritual wild, you've got these incredible, almost like geometric, very modern, very sellable, if I'm honest, kind of features and designs. Again, with plenty of those foiled sentiments, include things like shine bright and stay strong. So each of these, you're going to get multiples because you're getting 6 designs in each, but actually in each pad you're getting 39 pieces total, so it's pages total, if you will. So you're getting absolutely oodles and oodles in here, and these are what Lily are about to work with. I just want to remind you, in case you've just tuned in, today, whenever you see platinum price, that's actually what gold standard people are going to be paying. Platinum today, it's only $23.99 or $31.16 for all of those, so well worth treating yourself whilst you can. So should we have a nosy? How did you pick which one you were going to use for this?
Honestly, it's been an absolute nightmare. I was sat on the floor last night in my craft room going through each pad, and I went through every single one about 3 times. It's like, I don't know which one to pick. I want to colour them all. But we did a fabulous craft along the other weekend, me and Corinne, on those. So if you want to watch that back, we used some of those and we created like a box frame. But honestly, I love these. They're just fabulous. And like Becky said, if I'm ever on the train, I always have one of these in my handbag, few pens. And these are perfect as well, actually, to bring if you are commuting, because you do get the 2 colours in your one pen. They're a lot easier. You don't have to bring quite as many pens, but these are just a perfect size to travel with, but so much fun to colour. Right, I did say about doing something a little bit scary, and I have to say this is really quite exciting, and it's one of those things that sort of revolutionises your colouring. It really does, and once you start doing it, you'll be doing it all the time because it's such a fabulous technique. Now this is perhaps the most important pen in the box, I might say, of all your alcohol pens. We've got our blender on here, and we've also got our ice grey 8. Now, blender's super important. We call it a blender. It's not really a blender. It's more of an eraser or a corrector or a deleter. That's sort of what Leanne calls it, and she'll talk you through why that pen is so important in that first class. But our ice grey is really important. Greys are so important when we are colouring our stamped images or our images that have already been printed, like we've got here with our colouring pad card front collection. So I'm going to focus on this particular hummingbird, and I'm actually going to look at this back wing. And if we look at this image, when we come to look at our images, and I always do this when I start to colour in a piece of artwork, don't look at it as one image, as one piece of artwork. Break it down into different separate elements, and it just makes it a lot less overwhelming and makes it really manageable to colour in. So I'm looking at it and I'm seeing we've got 3 flowers. That's sort of one sort of area. We've got 2 of the birds. And when I come to colour this in, I'm going to do one area at a time. So we're going to focus on just this one bird. And if we look at the image, and always do this before you colour in a stamped image, do a little bit of looking, a little bit of planning before you actually apply any colour to that image. Just means you're planning ahead and you're going to get the shade in the right places first time. So we look at this back wing, that's slightly behind that wing in front. So that's saying to me that that's going to be in shade and it's going to be a little bit darker. Now in terms of my colours, I'm only going to use that one pen that I used for the first image. But if we want to get more depth and dimension onto there, we're going to have to bring in another pen. But without bringing in another sort of coloured pen, we're bringing in this IG8. And all I'm going to do on this back wing, in this very inner section, where that overlap is, where it's going to be the very darkest part of that image, I'm literally just going to add a little bit of that grey onto there like so. And you might be thinking, oh my goodness, what is she doing? You know, we've got a grey bird. What's this all about? This is not very pretty. I thought hummingbirds were pretty birds. This is terrible. What's going off? Now we're going to bring in our BT8, which is the darker of the 2 colours. And again, I'm using that amazing rotating design board just to sort of rotate my artwork. And something to note, when you are using your greys as an undercoat, you can let that layer dry before you actually colour over the top. And I'm taking that BT8 over the top, I'm colouring over and I'm flicking out. And then all we're going to do is then we're going to finally take our lightest colour, which is our BT6. And then we're just going to continue to flick outwards all the way into that preserve highlight at the end of that wing. And that's going to give us that depth onto there. And if we want to go back and add even more depth, we can go back with that IG8 that we used at the very start as our undercoat to give that extra bit of dimension, and we can add a little bit of that onto there. and that's going to give us that extra depth. So looking at that now, and we're just seeing a really, really nice shaded image with lots of depth and dimension onto there. We wouldn't know that there's actually any grey underneath, which is absolutely fabulous, but it just gives us that depth. And then if we go back in with our BT6, and then we're going to focus on the rest of the image. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour over the rest of the bird, and because this piece of the image is in front, this is going to be lighter, so we're not going to include any of the grey onto this particular part of the image. We use the grey on that other wing just to give us that real depth and dimension that we couldn't achieve from just using the two blues. We can get lots of depth and dimension from using just those two tones of blue that we've got within this one pen. But when we need sort of a little bit of a helping hand, we need that little bit of extra depth, that extra sort of layer. What we can do is we can use our greys as an undercoat. Now I did use my IG8 for this particular one, which is the darkest grey that you do get within the box. If you're working with slightly lighter colours, then you can use some of your paler greys, which you do get two other grey pen colours within your box with your alcohol pens. So if you don't need a grey that's quite as intense, then you can go for those instead. Just sort of depends how dark you want that grey to be. So colouring over the rest of the image using my BT6, and then just going back over where I need to in order to get that smooth blend. Don't forget our smooth blend being just the one colour. We'll work into a blend transition in just a moment, but fully dyeing those fibres of the cardstock to make sure that we get that even lay down of colour. Not forgetting that our alcohol pen ink is actually translucent, which is basically what allows this technique to work by using the grey undercoat. If it wasn't translucent, that sort of technique that we've done on that first wing wouldn't work. Then we're going on to our BT8, and we're going to add this into the darker areas. So just sort of following that line work, looking at my image, thinking where the areas that might be a little bit darker, and then just flicking outwards like so. So we've got sort of that, it's almost like a second wing over the top there. So underneath it's going to be a little bit darker, but perhaps not as dark as that area there, as it's not so sort of set back. Then onto the wings here, we've got another area that overlaps those wings underneath. So then where that overlap is, it's going to be that little bit darker where a shadow is cast. So I'm not being really technical. I'm not sort of really thinking really technically about light sources or anything like that. I'm just looking at my image, I'm breaking it down, I'm thinking about what would be overlapping, what would be in front and what would be behind, and I'm shading accordingly. But what we can see is where we've added the grey, we've got that real intensity of colour. We've got a real dark shadow onto there. But on the front of the image, where it's going to be a little bit lighter, we've still added shade, we've still added the two tones of pen, but it's not quite as dark, and it just allows us to build up that real depth and dimension. But how fabulous is it to use our grey pens as an undercoat? And that's something that Leanne will go through in the lessons, and it's such a fabulous technique to build up the dimension and get those images looking really realistic. Just fabulous.
I absolutely adore that. It's fabulous to be able to see that kind of with a bit of know-how and literally kind of two pens, you can create something that looks so individual and unique. If you have just tuned in, our fabulous box we're talking about here, it is jam-packed full of goodies, including 32 colours of the alcohol markers, 16 colours in the aqua pens. You're getting a white marker, you're getting a spritzer box, you're getting two paintbrushes, you're getting your marker blend palette, you're getting your card, 18 sheets for the alcohol ink, for the alcohol pens, 18 sheets for the watercolour pens. You're going to be getting 40 clean stamps. You're going to be getting one project binder, which is beautifully finished with all of the pages in there. You're also going to be getting the project pockets, which are in there, project dividers. You're getting the stamp storage panels as well, which means you are getting in total, if we count the colours as individuals, 148 items. In essence, this is something that you are going to love and adore, but that's not all you get. You will also get access to step-by-step tuition that will not only show you how to create with the things that are in this box, but also give you techniques that are invaluable. Should we have a little sneak peek at just a small section of the 6 hours of tutorials that you get? Whilst we look at this, do make sure you check out your baskets, and remember, you have got that special Club Inspire extra discount today. So make the most of it, check out your baskets and have a look at this.
So to mix watercolour and alcohol colouring, yes you can. What you would always do is the alcohol colouring first. So if we want to alcohol colour the face and watercolour the hair, alcohol colour your face and then do your watercolouring, because watercolouring over the top of alcohol will not move the alcohol. The alcohol will stay completely still. It will not go anywhere. And so you can absolutely use that for mixed media if that's what you want to do. And in a couple of the auto ship classes that we're going to be doing, we will be looking at that exact thing. See, we're doing the hair there. There we go. Add a little bit of the sunflower in. Preserve your highlight all the way. You get that lovely colour with the light and the brown mixing in together. You've got that lovely bits coming along, and then that's what you would get. You can see the same there with the skin tones. If you want to add a little bit more in, you see we've got a little bit more blush down the side of this face. If you want to add that in, get plenty of water on your brush. I'm going to get the yellow off. Plenty of water on your brush, and then here, actually mixing the, you know how we mixed a custom colour before? See how I'm mixing the blossom and the tawny together? That's going to give me more of a natural skin tone now to go in down this side, and just get a little bit of that shade in there and then bring the blush out. So it's just contouring. And we can mix a new colour to do that if we want to. And then just soften it out. There we go. I actually think that looks better. I'm happier with that face now. I'm going to put that same custom colour that I've just mixed under there, I'm going to put down here. I think it's more of a natural, like a sun-kissed skin tone. I think that looks much better now, that face, so that I've done that. And you've got that little bit of contouring on that side with that custom colour that I've just mixed on my palette using tawny and blossom. And then as you continue, that's what you would get. That's with tawny and sunflower for your hair. And I'll make sure that you get those up onto the website too.
Isn't that wonderful? And that is just a snippet of the 6 hours worth of content and hand-holding, in essence, that you will get in the tutorials alongside that box. Huge, huge, huge well done to every single one of you. I will let you know today is busy. We have already had plenty of these gone from people who've maybe missed out on it in the past, or maybe people who have gone, actually now I've seen it in use, I know that this is something I want to explore. Also, I will say it's very busy today because we've got, well, best price ever on this and a lot of other things on the show, and because we've got that extra deal on. So if you have just tuned in today, if you are, for example, a bronze member of our free Club Inspire, normally get 5% off, right? Yeah, happy days, whoop, whoop, 5%. Today, you're gonna get 10% off. Everyone is taking a step up the ladder. Even Platinum, who are basically at the top of the ladder, we've added an extra step for you. So if you're Platinum, 25% off today, even on things like this that are relatively new and have a discount, because already the discount on this, you're saving 50 quid nearly, or nearly $79. So even on that, you're getting extra money off. So now is the time to buy. And if you're anything like me, and you know that once you get your teeth into a new box of goodies, maybe new pens you might not have tried out before, with new tuition, you're gonna become slightly obsessed for a while. And therefore, you're gonna wanna treat yourself to plenty of stamps so that you can have a fabulous time colouring in lots of different designs. If that is the case, I've got Classy and Sassy, and I just want to let you know you're only paying for 2 of the 4. Just to let you know, you got a half price deal on these, and they're wonderful. I think these are really cool because I think it's really nice to be able to make cards for your girlfriends, for your best pals that maybe you don't get to see that often. These ones are lovely because they've got lots of different themes for them. I'm thinking, you know, girls' night in invitations, hen do invitations, maybe a nice spa weekend invitation. There's loads you can do with these, and they're all really smile-inducing. So let's check them out, shall we? Let's start off with Partners in Crime. You get these fabulous figures, the 2 people people here just having a great old time. If you've got a friend who, let's just say maybe you like to have film nights with, maybe a friend who, oh, I don't know, knows a way around a bottle of bubbles, then this is definitely a great one for you. You're getting that in it. This one I've got here is your true friends. Again, lovely if you've got a cat lovers in your friendship circle. Maybe what I quite like about this one too is it's got kind of a bit of a millennial feel about it. So if you've got like millennials in your family that maybe might be a little bit more difficult to craft with, you've got things in here like the mobile phone, and some of the sentiments are kind of quirky and cute. For those seamstress in your life, or even just a little bit of a fashionista, you've got your dress to impress. This one and the next one actually perfect for practicing your sort of skin tone colouring. It is your Hello Gorgeous. For those bookworms in your family, maybe just for those people that you basically want to say to, do you know what, you've had a busy week, put your feet up and relax. This is a lovely set, and again, great for your colouring in, because you've got some spaces in these which are quite large, some spaces which are a bit more detailed, and the more you practice in these different areas, the better you will become. Today, half price for you. You don't have to pick your favourites, you get all of them. And today, half price deal. Of course, though, if you're a gold, it's $15.98 or $20.75. If you're platinum, 25% saving, remember. So it's only $14.99 or $19.49. And remember, as we always say with our fabulous stamps, so long as you look after them and clean them and store them right, they were going to last you and last you and last you day after day, month after month, year after year. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, throw them at us. We've had lots of people talking about how much they love this. Sam going, I love my Academy of Colour. Sam's also saying Leanne is amazing on the classes. She breaks them down piece by piece by piece, but you can also put her on pause and catch up. That's a really good point. Yeah, give it a little pause, catch up what you need to do, and then carry on. We've got Kathy in saying the Academy of Colour was one of the first things I bought from Crafters TV, and I have to tell you, the packaging, etc., is outstanding. If you've already got this, let us know why you love it. Let us know what you adore. Also, if you're treating yourself to this for the first time and you're thinking, what else am I going to need to stock up on, do feel free to message us in. It's things like inks and paper. If you need any questions, we've got the lady here for you. And speaking of the lady, Lily, what are we looking at next, please?
We're going to have a little look at Sassy and Classy. But you've just reminded me of something. Leanne's actually done an extra little video, just a mini video that you'll find on the Facebook page, of taking you through absolutely everything you'll actually need before you even start that first lesson. So obviously you're going to need your box and your binder and all the rest of it, but any additional extras that you will need for that first lesson, Leanne actually takes you through absolutely everything and gives you a little bit of a shopping list, which is absolutely amazing. So you know when you sit down, cup of tea in hand, perhaps a few cheeky little biscuits to keep you going throughout that 3 hours, you know when you sit down and take that class, you're going to have everything that you need. You're not going to have to pause and get up and hunt around for an extra little bit of something that you might need to complete that lesson. You can have that list beforehand and just make sure that you're all set up before you actually start the class. So that's another fantastic thing that we've provided for you for those lessons.
That's great.
It's fabulous, isn't it? We are absolutely holding your hand every single step of the way. It's just fabulous. So we're going to have a little look at some of our Sassy and Classy stamps. And these are perfect for perhaps practicing some of your techniques that you've learned within the lessons. Lots of skin and hair that you can practice on these stamps. I was looking at that curtain that Becky was showing you, that stamp earlier. That's perfect for actually practicing colouring your folds, which is something that Leanne will teach you in the lessons. But in this particular image, we're just going to focus on the hair. We're going to do a little bit of a flicking technique. These are 2 pens that I'm going to be colouring with, and I'm going to start with my TN3, which is my apricot. And I have to say something I love about these. Not only do we give you the codes, so the colour family being the letters, and the number being sort of that depth of colour, with the lower numbers being lighter and the higher numbers being darker, but we also give them a name. And I have to say, there's something I love about having pens that have a proper name. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. I just love that. So we've got both options there, so all bases are covered. But we're going with our TN3. All I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, using that rotating design board to rotate my artwork, so it's going to make it a little bit easier when I'm coming to colour. I'm just going to move that like so. So, I'm going to look at the actual image, and like I always say, we're going to break this image down. I'm going to do a little bit of planning before this nib even touches that paper. And again, we are using our alcohol marker card, and I've stamped it with my Finesse black alcohol proof ink pad, with it being an alcohol based medium. So we're going to do a little bit of planning. So if we look at this hair, we think in the centre there's going to be a little bit of a highlight, there's going to be that shine on the hair. So around that bun where it's more pinched in, there's going to be more shadow and shade, so it's going to be darker around there. And again, it's going to be darker around the roots. We're going to have an area in the centre of sort of shine, of that preserved highlight. Then if we look at that bun, that area there, that's sort of like spherical. So if we think about when you come to do the lessons, Leanne will teach you how to colour in circular objects. So we're going to apply the exact same theory. It's going to be darker around the edges, and we're going to have shine in the centre to give it that sort of rounded appearance. So now we've sort of thought of a little bit of a plan, we're actually going to start with our colouring. So bringing in our TN3, I'm just going to flick downwards. Now it's easier to blend with wet ink than it is to try and blend with dry card. Sort of that wet into wet, it's just going to be so much easier. So I'm flicking downwards and I'm leaving that preserved highlight, which is the area of our image where there's no colour, where it's lightest and where that highlight's going to be. So I'm leaving that white, I'm not adding any colour, and I'm doing exactly the same in this top area. I'm adding colour around the edges, but leaving just a little bit in the centre where there's no colour whatsoever. So that's sort of my first layer. Then I'm bringing my next pen, slightly darker, we're going for TN5. And we're just going to go over some of the colour that we've just laid down. So don't go over all of the colour, otherwise there would be not really any point in layering down that first coat. Just flick up from the edges where we said it's going to be a little bit darker, and just flick into the centre, leaving our preserved highlight still going to be there where it's white, and leaving some of that first colour still showing. We're going to start to build up a little bit of depth and dimension. So same technique around this top area, going around the edges, leaving some of that first colour still showing, but adding a little bit of extra depth and dimension onto there. We can see already this image is coming together. We're going in now with our darkest colour within this pen blend that we're doing, which is TN6. With this being our darkest, we're not going to add an awful lot of this. We're just going to add it around the edges where the very, very darkest areas of this particular part of the image would be. So where the most shadow would be cast on this image. And we're just going to flick. Again, we're just using this same flicking motion that's so easy to achieve with these fabulous brush nibs. We're just following the lines that have already been laid out on these stamped images. Nice and easy, going around the edges, adding in that depth and dimension, just like so. And if you're looking at this now and you're thinking you want to add in a little bit of extra shading onto there, I'm going to bring in my IG5. This might be a bit dark, that should be all right. And we're going to add a little bit of that onto there. That's not quite dark enough, so I'm going to go in with a slightly darker grey. So I'm going to go in with that same IG8 that we used on that last image we actually coloured in. And the very, very darkest areas, so like we showed earlier, we can use grey as sort of an undercoat, but we also can use it over the top of the colours that we've already laid down. So in the very darkest areas, I'm just going to add a little bit of this grey, just to add even more depth and dimension onto there. And then in order to blend that out a little bit more, we're going to go back in with our darkest brown, which is our TN6. We can literally just colour over that grey just to blend it out a little bit more, so it's not quite such a harsh line onto there. Just flicking outwards, layering up that colour over the top. And then, so remember how we left our preserved highlight in the centre? You can actually go back in and fill that in a little bit more. So we're going to go in with TN1, which is the very palest tone that we've not used yet. We can just extend that colour into our preserved highlight. It's still going to be the lightest part of the image. You can leave it blank, you can leave it white if you prefer, but if you would like to add a little bit of colour onto there, just go in with your TN1 and just flick into the centre, like so. And I'm not entirely happy with the edges, so I'm going to go back in with my TN6 Just going to add a little bit more colour just over where I added the grey earlier, just to blend that out a little bit more, adding that depth onto the very edges of the image where that image is going to be darkest, where I've got the most shadow, bringing in that colour. You can see how quickly and easily we built up the hair on one of our Sassy and Classy stamps. So just focusing on the area of the hair, using a flicking technique, bringing in a little bit of the grey pen for even more depth and dimension, adding that realistic shine to the centre of the image. But so much fun, but so effective, using just a few pens from our box, and you can be applying that to any of your stamped images. And this is the fabulous thing about these lessons. We learn that technique of colouring the hair in the lessons. Leanne will show you how to colour hair properly, starting from scratch, from the basics, and then when you're a little bit more confident, you could be adding stamps like these Sassy and Classy stamps to your collection and actually applying that same technique onto different images, because Leanne teaches you why things work and exactly how to do things. She doesn't teach you to colour in a certain stamped image. She teaches you a technique on a certain stamped image. So because you are learning that technique, you can apply that technique to lots and lots of different images that you've got within your crafty stash, which is absolutely amazing, because then you're going to be sort of armed with the skills to tackle lots of different artwork, which is amazing. But it's so much fun to get colouring with these amazing pens, and I just hope when you get yours home you'll be as excited as I was when I got mine home.
This really is fantastic, and people are just saying how much they love it. A couple of messages that I'm going to pinpoint out. Robbie is saying Lily teaches beautifully and is so easy to follow.
Bless you. Can I just say, I try and teach the way that I want to be taught. Because I'm a crafter, I watch the shows. I've watched Leanne for years, honestly, years. And a lot of what I've learned is from watching Leanne. And so when I try and teach you guys at home, when I'm given the opportunity to sort of share a few of my crafty insights, I always think about how I learn best, and I always try and explain things the best that I possibly can. So if you know why you're doing something, it just makes sense. So thank you, that is a lovely comment.
Absolutely. I love this one, which is from Adriana, that says, this is a great price for Academy of Colour. I paid more on HSN, but it was still so worth it. And I think that goes to show how incredible the quality. And another one kind of to do with the price is from Mary Beth. Hello, Mary Beth, how are you? Mary Beth is saying, for me, the real value is through the lessons from Leanne. Each lesson has been about 3 hours, and there's no commercials, which is a really good point, right? Because yeah, you can get free ones on certain things, but then there's an advert every like 4.5 minutes, isn't there? And you're watching each one. I go through and then go back and stop and watch whilst I'm practicing. I think that's a really good point. We mentioned before, didn't we, that I had a little look online in an online colouring class, one that was a 4-star out of 5 review, worked out £10 an hour. So actually there's 6 hours worth in total on this. At that price point, if you are platinum, you're only paying like £15 for the box if you were to take the tuition out of it. It also got me thinking, if you are platinum today, because remember, if you're platinum, you're not paying that price, you're paying like £74.25. I've broken it down, because I like to break things down for us who aren't, you know, maybe mathematically challenged, let's say. I've broken it down. So if we take all of the colours in here that you've got, you can get in this collection, because you're getting 2 on each pen, you are going to be getting 148 items, which means it works out about 60 cents per item, or about 50p per item. So what I mean by that is it's like 50p per colour, which is great, or it's like 50p for our specialised Spectrum Noir paintbrushes, which, if you know about painting, you know that a lot of paintbrushes, they're uncomfortable, they shed. I promise you, I've tried to yank whiskers out of these in the past and it just doesn't happen. You're paying 50p for that. You're paying 50p for these fabulous, unique and individual stamps. I mean, this really is extra special, and that's without paying attention to the 6 hours worth of tuition that you're getting as well. And of course, you're getting getting the folder and so much more. This is really, really special. And I will just say to you, as we head on into a bit of a break to give you time to check out, remember what Adriana said, that this is a great price for Academy of Colour. I paid more on HSN, but it was still worth it. You have got the best ever price on this, because today we've got that step up on the totem pole for our Club Inspire. So whatever you normally get off, say you're a gold, today actually you're going to be treated like you're platinum. So make the most of this, treat yourself whilst you can. It's a bank holiday weekend, it'd be rude not to. And whilst you check out your baskets, have a little look at this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Welcome back to Crafters TV. Happy 1st of May. Whoop whoop, otherwise known as, because if you tuned in yesterday, we were talking celebrity birthdays, otherwise known as what some might say, ew, like the ugliest man in the world ever's birthday. It's Jamie Dornan. It was sarcasm when I said he was unattractive. What do you mean, who's Jamie Dornan? You know who he is. What do you mean, behave, Johnny? I mean, even Charlotte's gone, he's beautiful. She didn't say it as creepily as that. But yeah, it's his birthday. We have got a fabulous day with us today. We were talking about celebrity birthdays yesterday and who you shared yours with. I gave you a corking impression of who I shared mine with, which involved some movements that I wish I hadn't have done. But it was Peter Andre, off of Mysterious Girl fame. I share my birthday with him. Today on show, we have also got with us our wonderful craft expert, Lily. Lily, your birthday's coming up actually, isn't it, Lily?
Yeah, it's next month now. Yeah, 29th of June.
You share yours with a lady who is very well known, and actually I think you've got some similarities. Have you ever sung at anyone, "Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me"?
Funnily enough, I haven't, but there's a first time for everything.
There is. You share your birthday with Nicole Scherzinger.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
One of my favourite things about Nicole Scherzinger is here in the UK, she does like, she's done like adverts for different things, hasn't she?
Yes, yeah.
She's one of those who's like always on your telly, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes like with yogurt on her face and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the sort of similarity I could share, getting yogurt all over myself, you know.
Hey, we were talking before about slopping food down ourselves, weren't
We were, yeah.
Anyway, things happen behind the scenes. We have got so much cool stuff on for you today. If you have just tuned in, real nice to see you. Thanks for getting involved. My name is Rebecca Redican, and we have had a really busy day, Academy of Colour in particular, but also because it's our bank holiday weekend, we've got like super saver opportunities for you, which means that if you're part of our free to join club, whereby you spend and you build up 3 points and then you save even more money, you are another level up today. So well worth taking advantage of, in particularly when we're giving you savings on items that are as big as this, but still you're getting that extra discount. So this is our weekend super duper saver mystery bag of excellence, and we are bringing to you the creator card packs. So each of the dies in here are creator cards, and I will pick 3 at random this time. Number 1 that you are guaranteed to get in here is your Moon and Stars die. This one alone, £15. Get the tally open, will you? Get the tally. Great.
Get the calculator out.
Yeah. Scout, get the abacus! Get the abacus! I've also got for you in here, a random pick one, is the Save the Date. I love this one. It's got that sort of kinetic element to it. £20. £20 this one by itself. £20. Sorry, I felt a bit like a magician then. £20. Follow the item, still £20. And then last but by no means least, go for another random one. Oh, hey, oops, falling on me. I've got this one, which is Lovebirds. Loving you. Another £20. 20, 30, 40. £55 worth just in these 3 items. But look, I've got left over in here. We are approaching limited. In fact, I'm going to tell you this, and this is just going to boggle your mind. If you knew how many we started with, I have now got less than 30 of this bag available. Yep, and I will just remind you, if you are gold today, you're getting that price right there, that one. If you are platinum, you are going to be getting it today for £22.50 or $30. It is so the time to treat yourself to it now. And as I mentioned before, say you've already got like 3 of these, you're still going to be making a massive discount. So gift them 3 you've already got on. Give them to a friend, put them up for a raffle, sell them on eBay. It's up to you, but do treat yourself whilst you can, because it's a fabulous deal, that really truly is. So as well as the wonderful weekend super saver bag, we have got the Academy of Colour. We have had so many wonderful people messaging in about this and talking about how wonderful this set is. We will let you know that in here you are getting 124 elements in total. This one includes a binder. It's going to take you through your colouring journey from day dot with hand holding and tuition from the likes of the wonderful Leanne. And you have got the opportunity to add to this along the way. You will be learning different techniques. So for example, portraits, and there's like cute characters that you'll be learning. You'll be getting more boxes with more colours and more stamps. So you have got a real nice start to a journey right here. And we have got the fabulous Lily with us as well to give us some extra treats. I do just want to remind you, just to give you an idea with this one, that on this, as well as the around 6 hours worth of tuition videos with this collection and all of the different elements today. Even if you're just bronze layer, you are going to be getting it for £89.10 or $107.10. So that is incredible. Even if you're just, bronze, you're not quite platinum, you're still getting mega savings today. So do feel free to treat yourself. Okie pokely. Shall we think about diving into something else?
Shall we?
Shall we? What should we do next, Lily?
Shall we do, well, I said it was really important. You might be thinking, it's a bit of plastic. Why is this so important? Shall I show you why this palette that we're actually including in the box is so fabulous? Should we do a little bit of palette blending? This is a fabulous technique. This is one of those ones that, honestly, when you see it, it's super, super exciting. You're like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. So we're going to be working with one of the stamps that we've got on today's show. One of these fabulous butterfly stamps that we've got included in one of our bundles. And we're going to do a little bit of palette blending. So I've taken 2 of the pens from the box. I've got a bluey one, which is IB1 and IB3, or ice blues. And then I've also got a PV1 and PV2. Now we're actually going to do a little bit of a blend transition between these 2 colours. So I'm going to first of all take our darkest colour. So the colour that we put onto our palette is always our darkest colour. So IB3, all I'm going to do is I'm going to scribble that down. You get this wonderful squeaky noise and you think, oh, I've got a mouse. You've not. It's just your pen. I'm going to scribble down a little bit of colour onto there. And I'm going to take my PV1, which is my lightest colour, and literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop up some of that colour onto the end of this pen. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto my artwork again, always using this rotating design board just to angle my artwork in the best possible place. And can you see when we're colouring down, we've scooped up some of that colour, so I'm going to take a little bit more, and we're actually getting that blue coming through on this purple pen. And as we colour out, we continue to blend outwards, just flicking out from the centre outwards. That blue sort of disappears until we go back to the true colour of this purple pen. So you don't need to worry about your pens getting contaminated. As you colour, all of that blue will be flushed out, all of that darker colour will be removed from that purple pen. And can you see we've got that blend transition from the blue all the way out to the purple. Should we do another wing just to show you again?
Yes,
so all we do is we colour down our darkest colour, always your darkest colour onto your palette, and then we take our lighter colour. And you can do this with any colours you like. Just have a little experiment. It works fabulously for things like your mermaid's tails, or in our colouring card front collection we've got quite a few unicorn designs. Works fabulous for their manes and their tails, just to get that ombre between the different colours. But literally all we do is we scoop up that darker colour onto our lighter colour. Then all we do as we colour out, we start to flush out all of that darker colour, so that by the time we've got to the end of this image, which is the edge of the wing, we're back to our sort of natural colour of this purple pen. We've removed all of that blue from there, and that's just sort of deposited into the centre of the wing. Then what you can do is you can take that darker colour and add a little bit more depth and dimension to the very centre of this image if you like, just to intensify that blue. But how easy is that to create? Let's go in, add a little bit more onto our palette, and all we do is just sort of a scooping action with our paler colour, and then just colour down. Can always go back and add a little bit more of that darker colour if we need to. A little bit more onto there, and colouring out from the centre, moving outwards from that blue tone, flicking outwards to the very edge of the body until we go back to that natural colour of that purple pen. And then just one more.
I love this technique because it's absolutely seamless, isn't it? You
so
can't
easy.
see where the start of the blue to the purple to the pink is.
Absolutely, and it's so easy to create. Literally just the 2 pens is all you need to create this technique, and you can be doing it, like I say, with lots of different colours, and will give you lots of different effects, but it's so easy to create. And you wouldn't think that we've used 2 pens which are so different in colour tones, from 2 totally different colour families, just blending that onto there. And like we did earlier, if we want to add a little bit more depth, a little bit more of that blue onto the wing, we can literally just go with the blue pen. I'm going to colour in the body really easily just to finish this off, adding a little bit more of the depth, using that blue pen onto the centre, letting that brush nib do all the work, flicking outwards. Really easy and simple to create, but how absolutely fabulous does that look? A little bit of palette blending, so using this fabulous, it might just be a bit of plastic, you might think it's just a bit of plastic, but honestly, the techniques you can do with your palette blending, it looks absolutely fabulous. Just with 2 pens and such a brilliant technique. I have to say, I love that technique.
And it's done so quickly as well. That took minutes, didn't it? And that's with Lily kind of really taking her time to explain it through as well. Loads of you absolutely adoring this, basically singing the praises of the wonderful Academy of Colour. Marsh is letting us know that it's a cup of tea time and that Lily is so calm and it's lovely on a Sunday. Oh, yes, lovely, isn't she? Also, talking about celebrity birthdays as we are, I now understand why Rachel from Teen Social always walks around like this. Because she shares her birthday with Kate Winslet. Yeah, she doesn't really walk around like that. She also has never said, paint me like one of your French girls. Anyway, we have got for you so many more treats coming up. Let me just remind you, with this incredible Academy of Colour, we are giving you best ever price today. And as well as all of the treats in here, all of the stamps, the pens, the paintbrushes, etc., you're getting that wonderfully finished binder with extra space for your future treats. You are also going to be getting access to 6 hours worth of tutorial, which will guide you and teach you along your journey. Do you fancy a little sneak peek of some more? Here's Leanne to give you more tips and advice.
So first things, we're going to go with the lightest of the skin tone, which is the desert. So a damp brush, pick that up. Same principle applies as before. Add that into the areas where there would be more shade. So we're going in the shaded areas first, which is under the hairline, around the chin, into that area there, under her nose and under her neck. And then we're going to take a little bit of the desert and bring in a little bit more shade. And then to soften that, I'm going to use the blossom. So take a little bit of that blossom, and then to drag that out, I'm going over that there, and then bringing that colour out more into the rest of the face. I've got that in there. I'm not worrying about the hair because I'm going in to do the hair in a second. So I've gone over a little bit into the hair there. It doesn't matter. That'll get covered up when I come to do the hair. And then those colours have all melded in to get a little bit more light and shade in a couple of areas here. What I can do now is use the faux bleaching. So faux bleaching is where you put water on and then you dab with your towel and it takes colour away. So you see that instantly added light to her forehead. I can do the same down here, the side of her face. And then that has added a little bit of light there. There we go. And then just to shade that in and give her a little bit of blush, you can use that same blossom colour with the same technique we had before and give her a little bit of a blush on that side there.
Isn't it incredible to be able to see in-depth tuition such as that? And again, you know, we were mentioning earlier, 6 hours worth, even if you were to only pay £10 an hour for a colouring class with tuition that in-depth by someone who, let's face it, has the level of expertise and knowledge that Leanne has, you're talking £60, you know, $60 worth. Today, if you're platinum, it's less than £75. So actually, the tuition, £15 for everything, if you break it down like that, it's bonkers good. If you have just tuned in, hello, bonjour, hola. I'm down a path now. I don't know many more hellos. It's lovely to see you today. My name's Becky and we are all about the weekend. We have got our weekend saver bag, which is so popular. On last refresh, we had less than 30. I don't know what we've got now, but if you fancy it, scoop it up. We're also all about the Academy of Colour. This box is absolutely ram-packed full of goodies. Also, just as a reminder, if you're tuning in now and you're thinking, well, they're running behind, look, they're 2 minutes after the show because you've requested it. This show, Colour Me Happy, 2 hours. So it's well worth getting your questions in, getting anything that you want answering in whilst we're here, especially as we've got the lovely Lily with us today who absolutely adores these products. So get your questions in. Any troubleshooting you need, we're here for you for the next half an hour-ish. If you have just tuned in, this box is extra special. Lily, do you mind running through it? Some of the treats in it again for us.
We're just going to have a little quick look as to exactly what you are getting in your box. If you just tuned in and you're thinking, what am I getting? Let's have a little look. So, box is fabulous quality. We have got a magnetic clasp onto there, so it's going to hold everything in this box absolutely perfectly, nice and securely. As we open it up, we come to our first layer, and this is focused on our duo colour alcohol markers. So we're getting so many in here. We're getting 16 different dual-ended pens, beautiful quality brush nib on both ends, and such a range of colours on there. But that is just layer one of our colouring journey. We're coming to the next layer. Now, there's a couple of mine missing. They are here. You will get all of them. You will get all 8 of your markers onto here. These are our duo colour aqua. So same sort of principle as with our alcohol pens, dual ended, so 2 different colours within each of the 8 pens. Beautiful quality once again on your brush nibs. We also have an opaque white pen, perfect for adding all your highlights and your detail onto your images. Also perfect for correcting mistakes. Shh. Didn't tell you that little secret though. And then we've got our spritzer bottle, great for lots of your different background techniques. And you will get not just 1 but 2 different paint brushes there. Your wide brush, which is great for your backgrounds, and your detailed brush, which is perfect when you come to your more intricate stamped images that you're going to be painting. Then we come to our final layer, last but by no means least. We've included our alcohol marker card, so perfect for use with your duo colour alcohol pens. Also our watercolour card. We've also got our palette that we just used in our last demo. That is included. It does come with a little protective sheet. Just peel that off when you get it home and then that's ready to go. But there is, like I did say earlier, there is something missing from this very bottom layer of our box. So if we pop our other 2 layers together, we don't just bring you the box, we don't just bring you all the education as well, which is over 6 hours worth of the lovely Leanne taking you through step by step all those amazing techniques. We also bring you this fabulous quality binder. And we saw on that last layer we had a few little bits missing. We are missing our stamps because I've popped them into our binder, so this is perfect place to store all of your stamps. Within this first box, you're getting 3 sets of clear stamps, beautiful quality. They've all been specifically designed for use with all the techniques that Leanne teaches you within the lessons. So we get this first sheet. We also get this second sheet, so you can see we've got a real range of different sorts of genres of our artwork, even some sentiments included in there, so perfect for finishing off your projects if you are turning your artwork into finished cards. And then finally we have this third sheet included. So 3 sheets of fantastic quality clear stamps, great for using with your lessons because these are the exact stamps that Leanne uses in those lessons, so you can truly colour along with her. You've got absolutely everything you need, your stamps, your box, your pens, and your over 6 hours worth of education. Honestly, when it comes to colouring, I'm not quite sure what more you could wish for. It's absolutely incredible.
It truly is, and you have got real opportunity here to start your journey but also progress your journey, because of course there are the opportunity to have the other tuition elements afterwards with more boxes, etc. on the way. If you do want to get your hands on it right now, let me just remind you that if you are a bronze member today, this box, which Adriana mentioned before, I always say yours a little bit like that, don't I, Adriana? I know someone who is called Adriana. She pronounced it that way. That's why. Adriana. She mentioned earlier on that you got yours on HSN. It was more expensive, but it was still so worth it, which I think is incredible, sort of accolade for us. Also, Treasured Hearts in saying Academy of Colour is capital letters. Amazing! Sing. So worth it, exclamation mark. And this is the thing, it's absolutely jam-packed full, and if there's that many people, it's not just here going, oh, it's really worth it. Other people at home who have got their hands on it and have tried it themselves saying it's worth it. I think this is a really good chance maybe for you to get it if you fancied it even more so today, because we've got that extra level of saving. So if you're a bronze member, normally you get 5% off. Today it's 10% off, so you're looking at paying just £89.10 or $107.10. If you're platinum, if you're gold, you pay that price. If you're platinum today, it is £74.25 or $89.25. I mean, check out the start price and keep that in mind. You are saving way more than you're spending, because we're already saving you 50 quid, let alone the extra discounts. If you would like to treat yourself, head on over to our website and secure it now. And whilst you're there, have a little nosy round at our other goodies. Should we have another demo? Let's do it. Lily, what do we going to look at next?
Should we have a little look at our duo colour aquas?
Oh, yes,
not looked
perfect.
at those yet. We've just been focusing on our alcohol pens, but let's have a little look now at our duo colour aquas. Now, once again, I'm working onto my fabulous rotating design board. Something with our alcohol pens, I did say always work with a piece of scrap paper underneath. It's not vital with your aqua markers. I just tend to, it's force of habit, because I tend to do that with my alcohol pens. I will also do that with my aqua pens, and I find it's useful if I need to sort of scribble down, if I want to test out any of my colours. It's useful to have that sheet underneath, but in terms of sucking the ink and having things not bleeding, it's not actually vital to have that piece of card underneath. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a resist technique. Now, something that's fabulous about your aqua pens and your water-based mediums is that they're great for lots of different techniques, all your spritzing, your backgrounds, your messy mop-up backgrounds, all that sort of thing. These pens are fabulous for all those sorts of techniques that we can be doing. Of course, exactly the same as when we've got our regular aqua pens within the Spectrum Noir range. Of course, you can be using them with other water-based mediums. So like with your sparkle pens, you can be bringing in perhaps your clear sparkle pens with these duo colour aquas, and you can be blending them out and actually turning all of these pens into glittery pens as well. So lots and lots you can be doing with these. But I want to show you a really simple technique that we can be doing with our backgrounds. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of that watercolour cardstock that we've got, of course, included in the box, and I've taken one of the stamps that we've also getting in the box, and I've stamped it with a clear watermark ink pad and heat embossed using some white embossing powder. We can sort of see that, but not brilliantly, to be fair. If I were to put that on a card, it would get a little bit lost. So let's add a little bit of colour. So we're going to bring in our fabulous palette that we used with our alcohol pens just a moment ago. So we can use it with both our water-based pens and our alcohol pens. I'm taking the Wildflower colour. I'm just going to scribble a little bit of that down onto there. Then I'm going to go in with my Peacock Blue. I'm going to do exactly the same, scribble a little bit of that down onto there. And then I think I'm going to go for Aquamarine. I might change my mind as we go through, I might add different colours, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just having a play and experimenting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fabulous brush that we've got included in the box. Now something that's always super important when you're working with your aqua pens is always have plenty of kitchen roll just to the side. We don't want a sopping wet brush, we tend to work more with a damp brush. So I'm picking up some water onto my brush, and all I'm going to do is I'm just onto my my sentiment that I've stamped and heat embossed. I'm just going to add some water onto there, and by using this nice big brush, it just means that we can cover that area really nicely, nice and easily. Then all we're going to do is we're going to take some of our colours. I'm going to go in with this blue to start with. I'm just diluting, so we're sort of creating our own palette of colour onto that, and all I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to pounce. I'm not doing anything artistic, nothing fancy at all. I'm just going to pound some of that colour onto there. You can see, because we're working with wet into wet, it starts to bleed straight away, and that just starts to merge. And then we're going to go back in with another of our colours. So we're going to go with this more tealy turquoise sort of colour, and doing exactly the same, adding a little bit of water onto the colour that we've scribbled down onto our palette, and then just sort of almost like a stippling technique, but very, very randomly pouncing onto our stamped piece, and then cleaning our brush once again, just dipping it into our water and then drying it off on our kitchen roll. Bring in some of that purple, adding more water if you want a more diluted effect, and just making sure that all those colours start to merge into one another and start to bleed, and they all start to play together and start to build up quite an interesting looking background. And by having that white heat embossed image, that's going to work as sort of like a resist. So because it's raised and it's got that sort of shiny effect to it, it's actually going to resist this colour that we're laying over the top. We wouldn't be able to do the same technique with alcohol pens, because alcohol pens can be used on both porous and non-porous surfaces, which is fabulous because it means that we can use them to colour things like gems and pearls and our ribbons, or we can use them onto acetate, and they will actually dry onto those surfaces. It just means that they won't work with a technique like this, because they will just colour over the top of our sentiment. So you can see, by just literally stippling that colour over the top of there, we've started to build up that background. Don't know if we can see the sentiment then starts to stand out a little bit more onto there. Just zoom in, you can see that, and as that dries, that will intensify. What you can do is you can dry that off, heat set it just using your heat tool. That will speed that up, and then if you go back in and repeat that exact same technique, then you can build up the colours and the colours will intensify. But just working wet onto wet, that's the sort of techniques we can do. There's really no skill at all involved in something like that, but you can just have a real play with your aqua pens that are included in the collection. Just fabulous.
This really is special. What a lovely technique, Lily. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's lovely that, isn't it? And this is the great thing. There's so much you can do with that. You will have noticed that throughout the show, Lily's been using the rotating design board for colouring and other elements. It really does make your life so much easier. It's good if you've got a small work area. It's good for comfort as well. For me, it's very much a kind of a comfort thing. If you want to be able to create designs, you don't always have the space or kind of energy in a way to be rotating your body. It's good for your posture as well, and it does just make your life so much easier. You pop your work on it, and then the kind of magical ball-bearing elements inside give it a nice smooth glide. With this one, you're also going to be getting the magnetic ruler, which can help you guide elements really nicely, as well as actually holding things into place as well. You're getting your bulldog clip to keep your artwork where it needs to be. You also get the magnetic mat, which is removable, and then you could just work straight onto this, dependent on what you are doing. Today, you are getting a discount already, but don't forget, you are also going to be getting the extra discount because we're doing a level up saving on our Club Inspire today. So whatever level you normally are, you're a step above today. So make the most of that discount whilst you can. As well as this on show, which has been really popular, we have got an update. It's just a... Limited stock on the Weekend Super Saver Creator Card Mystery Magnificent Bag. Now this has been so popular. We had loads of them. We were like, yeah, it's a bank holiday weekend. Let's get loads. Weekend, technically Monday too, isn't it? Yeah. There is no chance whatsoever we're even going to have these by the end of the evening. We highly doubt, because we are officially in limited stock, and that means a couple of handfuls left. I will, because we're in limited stock, go through each one that you're getting in here super duper quickly. We have got so many in here just to show you. I won't go through all the names, but keep your peepers peeled and you won't miss anything. If you're like, you know, back in the 90s with the Pokemon cards, like, I've got it, want it, need it. Do remember that your saving on this is so humongous that even if, for example, you know, all you wanted was, say, this one and what's another nice one? That one. I think they're really nice. Maybe you bought them, you know, you wanted these two. Actually, to buy these two would be £40. So you may as well get the whole collection, right? Because it's an absolute bargain. Sell them on, gift them on. If you've got them already at this price point, it's sensational. And as a reminder today, if you're gold, normally, you're only paying £24 or $32. If you're platinum, it's £22.50 or $30. So it is absolutely and completely worth getting it, but it is limited stock. I've got like literally a handful left. I'll be amazed actually if it lasts till next show. So do seize the moment. Do you fancy another demo? Oh, go on then, twist us arm. Lily, what can we look at next?
Should we go a little bit more technique again? Let's have a little look at a few more techniques with our aqua pens.
Love it, cool.
I was saying they're fabulous for our background, so let's just have a little look. Let's just have a play, basically. Let's just have a nice old play. It's a Sunday afternoon. Just gonna have a little bit of a play with our aqua-based pens. So what I've got is, you'll see that I've removed my rotating design board, and I'm actually going to be working onto my glass mat. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these pens, and I'm just choosing what colour. Let's go for purple, and all I'm going to do, straight onto my glass mat, scribble a little bit of that purple down. Then let's go for magenta. And because these are water-based, they're really easy in terms of clean-up. We wouldn't be doing something like this with our alcohol-based markers, because basically they're dry on our mat and we'd have a very colourful glass mat. You can do exactly the same technique onto your craft mat. If you've got like your non-stick craft mat, it will give you a slightly different result, just because of the way that the ink sort of pulls, but it will give you an equally absolutely fabulous effect. So I've literally just coloured over there, and you think, my goodness me, what is happening? Doesn't look very inspiring. It looks like I've just made a little bit of a mess on my mat. But something we've included in the box is this fabulous spritzer bottle. And all we're going to do is we're just going to spritz those colours, so plenty of water, directly onto the colours that we've scribbled down already, and that will start to move those colours. Then all we're going to do is going to take a piece of our watercolour card from the box, and all we're going to do is just going to lay that down into that colour, and we start to pick up some of that colour off of our glass mat. So literally just pressing that down, and all the colours are going to start to merge and run. You can actually move it around a little bit, scoop it around, and then you're going to get that movement onto there as all the colours start to mix. I've gone for purpley, pinky, bluey tones. Of course, you can be going for any colours within the box. We've included so many different colour tones within your aqua pen range, so you've got lots and lots of different options to be playing with. It would look fabulous in perhaps oranges and red sort of tones, almost like firework. If you went for just bluey tones, it would look a little bit under the sea. Perhaps you've got fish stamps that you want to add onto there. But how fabulous does that look? Literally just scribbling a little bit of colour down onto our mat. And I might actually take another piece of our cards. I'm just going into my box, and I'm going to take some of my watercolour card. Don't forget, we were using the watercolour card that is included in the box, but if you do want to get additional packs of our Spectrum Noir watercolour card, then you can be getting those on today's show, just to make sure you've stocked up. I'm going to take another piece, and we've still got plenty left on our mat. You can spritz with a little bit more water if you want to dilute that a little bit more. That'll just give you a slightly softer and more diluted finish to our background. But we can go back in and get a little bit of a 2-for-1 if you like. So we had our first background that we created, which was slightly more intense, a little bit darker, but sort of just using our remnants that's left on our mat. We can still get an absolutely fabulous technique. You can then be using perhaps some of your stencils over the top. Maybe you've got some silhouette stamps. They would work beautifully over the top. You could even be adding in, when you scribble that colour down to start with, you could even be adding in some of your clear sparkle pens. But can you see how easily, just from scribbling down a little bit of colour onto your glass mat, you can create some really fabulous backgrounds. So it's not just about colouring in your stamped images. Leanne teaches you lots of amazing background techniques within those classes, which is great for use in your card making. If you're colouring in some of your images and you're thinking, how exactly am I going to mount these into a card? What am I going to add to that card to make it look finished? Create your own backgrounds. So much fun to create. Just have a little bit of a play, get a little bit messy. You can see I'm slightly inky, but with it being water-based, it will just wash off with a little bit of soap and water, and you're good to go and get creating again. But just really, really fun, just something a little bit different.
The fabulous thing with this, if you've just beautifully shown with a lot of the techniques, is if you are somebody who goes, I don't know how to, colour in and all the precise work and all the rest of it, you will be taught more about that. If you're all about the mixed media, you will be taught all about that. Truly, anyone can get involved with this. If you wanted to treat yourself to this selection of treats and goodies, you are going to get everything you need. You're going to get extras that you might not have expected. You've got the binder with 40 stamps, sneak peeks here of other elements and boxes that are to come as well. You have the opportunity to get involved with this even if you have never coloured before. Even if the last time, did you see them? Yeah, did you see them? Did you see them spot them? Those are the ones that are to come. But yeah, with this one, it doesn't matter if you haven't done like watercolour since you were at primary school. It does not matter at all. I will just say to you that we have got other boxes coming up, but obviously this one comes with the binder, so just keep that in mind and sort of bear that in mind, because that's what's going to keep you all nicely in your techniques. And just in case you have just tuned in, there are different areas that we're looking at in here. So future boxes are going to focus on portraits, floral and faunas, feathers and fur, cute characters, aqua pencils, wax pencils. So just to give you an idea, that's a little sneaky idea. And there are already sort of areas in here pinned out for the different sections that you're going to be getting in the future. So it is completely all in there, all covered, all nicely packaged, all ready for you to get ready and going. And today, again, gold people, oh, my little statuettes, you are paying just $79.20 or $95.20 today. Platinum members, you're getting 25% off this one today, so it's totally and absolutely worth the time. Marsha's saying, I have the CC calendar on my rotating board. It's really handy for colouring and for lap work as well. Another great point for you, Martha. Yeah, absolutely. Lily, thank you so much for today.
Thank you. It's been absolutely fabulous just to share a few bits of sort of my take on this fabulous project. It's been just brilliant.
When are you going to be back on with us?
I'm not sure at the moment. Hopefully, fingers crossed soon. But yeah, really, really exciting.
Because you've got to build all of the shows and put all the good stuff in here, haven't you?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's just a real treat when I can come down to Crafters Team and sort of share my love of craft with you guys. It's just an honour to be here today. I'm going back home now to do a little bit more crafting. Let's be honest, you know, lots of crafting to be done. But yeah, hopefully I'll be back soon.
I love it, Lily. Thank you so much. We have got limited stock, just to let you know, on our Weekend Super Saver. We have got the Creator Card collection. Shocks myself then. We have got the Creator Card mystery bag here for you, and in this you are going to be getting, here's where the mystery sort of ends, you're going to be getting £105 worth for maximum £30. And I say maximum £30 because I don't really know anyone that would pay £30, because the vast majority of people who shop with us join our free club, right? So you're part of our Club Inspire, which means that everybody gets an extra special discount. If you're bronze today, you're getting a 10% discount. If you are gold, you are getting a platinum price. And if you're platinum, you are getting 25% discount on this one today. So just as a little reminder, I will run through each of them, only because it's like the last handful left. It's like, I don't know, it's like holding on to sand through the fingers. Quite poetic, that. There's, by the way, no chance whatsoever do we think that mischievous Ben's going to even get his mitts on this, because we think it will be sold out before Ben joins you at 2 o'clock. So just quickly whip through these. We have got for you your Save the Date die in here. This is with the kinetic element that you can use as hanging. I really like this one because for me, yes, it does say wedding, yeah, it does say christening, but also for me, it's got a steampunk element to it. It's very much kind of white hair in Alice in Wonderland, mystical fantasy, very usable. I've also got in this one for you your lovebirds. The lovebirds are beautiful. They're kind of hugging each other, they're intertwined. Don't forget though, what you've got here is your sentiment dies such as hello you or lovebirds. So it's not just great for, you know, congratulations on your engagement cards, etc. It's great just for your best friends, just for your friends who you know that you love and adore. I've also got for you in here the Stars and Moon. For me, if you watched the Sharon Callis show yesterday, you'll know that we had the flower fairies on with that. That as a pairing is gonna go so well. I'm bringing to you your entwined roses. Great for Mother's Day in America. I know that's on its way. Wonderful just for summertime though, right? Then I'm bringing to you your beautiful rose as well. This one does such a beautiful cutout. You get the 2 dies in here, so the inner and the outer. Then I've got for you your Take Flight. I really like this one because I think if you're 6 or 66 or anywhere in between, this is the type of card that will make you smile. Very kind of Phileas Fogg, quite vintage as well. And finally in here, you're getting your Decadent Hearts as well, which gives you this wonderful multi-layering effect, just to give you an idea of how it looks. All of these you should be paying way over £105 for, or nearly $126. Today though, no one's even going to pay £30 or $40. So well worth seizing the moment in on that, just to make the most of it whilst you can. We have had such a brilliant show today. Thank you all so much for your input. I have a feeling that you're going to be sat down now and getting your colours out, and if you're not, well worth treating yourself to these. Now, we've got so much more to come on the show. Oh, aye. Ben's back, and I'll tell you what, he looks older. He does. I'm not being rude. It was his birthday yesterday. He doesn't really look older. I've not even seen him yet. But yeah, we've got the wonderful Ben back after his birthday, so I'm sure we'll have lots of lovely stories. That is with Masterclass. It's coming up for you 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 o'clock or 6. And then there's also a HSN preview tonight. Oh yeah, Sarah herself will be in the building, so well worth keeping your eyes peeled for that. Don't forget as well, it is your final few days of the extra discount, so do treat yourself whilst you have the opportunity. For me and the fabulous team, well, they'll see you in 2 hours. I'm driving home. I hope to see you very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, my loves. Bye-bye.